These problems we're going to solve now are going to involve the distributive property. Distributive property means that we need to clear out the parentheses that we have by multiplying inside. Okay, so let's do that with this one here. Okay, so we have 4 times c minus 6 plus 3 equals 5 plus c minus 14. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do multiplication first, distributive property to multiply by both things inside there. So I get 4 times c, and then 4 times 6 is going to be 24. And everything else is the same. So that's the first thing I did, was the multiplication step. Now I end up with some things on both sides that I can simplify a little bit further, because I've got the negative 24 plus 3, and I've also got the 5 minus 14. So what I'm going to do here is I want to clean up both sides here. So negative 24 plus 3, I get 4c. That's going to be a minus 21. On this side, I get 5 minus 14. That's negative 9. So I'll write it as c minus 9. I could have also done negative 9 plus c. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the first step, is distributive property and then simplifying, adding all the like terms together. Next, I want to get all the c's on one side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract c from both sides. When you do the one side, you have to do the other side. You're getting all the c's on one side here. So this is 3c minus 21 equals negative 9. Let's move that up here. Now, the next step I want to do is I want to get the c term by itself. So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. I want to get rid of that because I want the 21s to go away, so I just have c only. So 3c on that side. Now be really careful again when you're combining that together on the right-hand side. You have 21. It's really like 21 minus 9. So you're going to get 12 here, not 30. Okay, so be careful with that when you combine it. It's positive 21 minus 9. So you get 12 there. Now we're going to divide both sides by 3, and we get c equals 4. And c equals 4 would be your answer there. Right. This next one, we're going to multiply both sides. Now, even though I've got something on both sides, there's not something I can divide on both sides here. Like, I probably wouldn't want to divide one side by 8, both sides by 8, because then I get a fraction on the right-hand side. So instead, I'm just going to multiply all this out. So let me write out the problem. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply by this. So we're going to do 8 times the c and 8 times the negative 4. We're going to do 9 times the c and 9 times negative 5. 8 times c gives you 8c. 8 times negative 4 gives you minus 32. 9 times c is 9c, and then 9 times negative 5, you get negative 45. Okay. So we're done with the multiplying, but now the next step that you would do would be to get all the variables on one side of the equation. So I want to subtract. I'm going to subtract the 9c from both sides here. I'm putting the variable on the left-hand side, but again, it's your choice which side you want to put the variable on. I tend to write things on the left-hand side. 8c minus 9c is negative 1c, or just negative c. And I get negative 45 left over. So let's rewrite that up here. And then we're going to isolate the c, get c by itself. I want to get rid of that 32, so I'm going to add 32 to both sides. That way, when I do that, negative 32, positive 32, those cancel. So I get negative c equals, all right, so now I want to do negative 45 plus 32. Okay, so be careful. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract this, take the sign of the larger number that we have. So in this case, I would get 45 minus 32 would be 13, but it's going to be negative here because there's more negatives than there are positives there. So now we're not done yet because we want to get C. We have negative C. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1 because that's really the number we have in front of the C. So when you do that, you get C equals positive 13. So positive 13 is going to be your answer there. Next. This one here, another one we're going to go ahead and multiply out. Okay, so I'll just multiply this. -5 times 3 is -15p. -5 times the 4 is -20. Then you have -86. On the other side, 4 times everything inside there. So 4 times 2p will give you 8p. 4 times 8 gives you 32. We want to add like terms together for the next step. -20 minus 86 is going to give you -106. Now we want to get all the variables on one side of the equation. I want to move the p's over to the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract this on both sides. Subtract both 8p on both sides there. -15 minus 8 is -23. Minus 106 equals positive 32. Let's rewrite that here. Okay, so I want to get rid of the 106. So I'm going to add that to the other side. So I'm going to add 106 here and add 106 here. I get -23p. If I add this together on that side, I'm going to get 138. It's a 1 right there, so 138. Last step would be to divide both sides by -23. And when we do, we just get p by itself equals, and -6 is the answer there. Okay. Let's do one more. -4 times both things inside the parentheses. -4 times the 5p is -20p. -4 times +4, -16. We still have a -27. On the other side, we get 6p plus 9. We have like terms that we can combine together. So it's always what you want to look for when you're doing that. If there's like terms, you want to combine those together. So we're going to go ahead and add, well, actually subtract, but we'll have 16 minus 27, 43, and that's going to be a -43 since there's two negatives. Okay. Equals, and then the rest of this, nothing more we can do on this side. Now we want to get all the p's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 6p from both sides there. You get -26p minus 43 equals 9. Now we're going to add 43 to both sides. Okay, if we add 43 to both sides, we get -26p is going to equal, if you add that together, it's going to give you 52. So let's rewrite that up here. Last step would be division. Divide both sides by -26. And you're going to get -2 is the answer. Don't forget about that negative there because you are dividing this by a negative here. So since there's one negative, there's one negative in your answer. And that would be your final answer. P equals -2.